Right now, without feeling it at all, you are spinning. The Earth rotates at roughly 1,670 kilometers per hour at the equator. That is faster than a bullet. You have been doing this your entire life. Every human who ever lived has done this. And none of us have ever felt it. Because everything around us is spinning at exactly the same speed. But what if it stopped? Not slowed down gradually over millions of years. That is actually happening very slowly due to the moon's gravity. No, what if it just stopped? Completely. Right now. The first thing that would happen has nothing to do with the planet. It has to do with you. And everything else sitting on the surface. When a car stops suddenly, you lurch forward. That is inertia. Your body was moving and wants to keep moving. The same thing would happen to every single object on Earth. But instead of lurching forward at 30 kilometers per hour, everything would lurch forward at 1,670 kilometers per hour. At the equator. That is not a lurch. That is a launch. Every building, every tree, every ocean, every person would be flung eastward at supersonic speed. The entire surface of the planet would be scraped clean. In seconds. Cities reduced to rubble moving faster than the speed of sound. Mountains sheared off at the base. The oceans picked up and hurled across continents like a wave in a bathtub. Nothing on the surface would survive. Not one thing. The atmosphere would keep moving too. Wind speeds of 1,670 kilometers per hour sweeping across the now stationary planet. Stripping away soil. Grinding rock into dust. Scoring the surface for days. But let's say somehow the Earth stopped gently. Over thousands of years. Slowing down so gradually that nothing gets flung into space. What would the world look like when it finally stopped? The first change would be the day. Currently, one full rotation takes 24 hours. That gives us day and night. If the Earth stopped spinning entirely, one side of the planet would face the sun permanently. The other side would face permanent darkness. The day side would bake. Temperatures would climb to levels that make Death Valley look comfortable. The ground would crack and dry. The air would become superheated. Most life on the sunlit side would die within weeks. The night side would freeze. Without the sun and without the warmth carried by rotating air currents, temperatures would plunge to negative 150 degrees Celsius. Or lower. The atmosphere itself might begin to freeze and fall as snow. Liquid nitrogen snow. Covering the dark side of the planet in a permanent frozen silence. But here is where it gets interesting. There would be a narrow strip between the two sides. A ring around the planet. A twilight zone. Permanent dawn on one edge. Permanent dusk on the other. Temperatures just right for liquid water. Winds howling from the hot side to the cold side constantly. But survivable. Barely. This thin ring of twilight would become the only habitable zone on Earth. Hundreds of kilometers wide. Wrapping around the entire planet. Every surviving organism would migrate toward it. Plants leaning toward the distant sun. Animals clustered in a narrow corridor of breathable air. Civilization, if it survived, compressed into a single band. The oceans would redistribute completely. The Earth's spin currently causes water to bulge at the equator. Stop the spin and that bulge collapses. Water rushes toward the poles. Two enormous oceans form. One over the North Pole, one over the South Pole. The equatorial regions, once covered by sea, would rise above the water as dry land. A new supercontinent forming around the middle of the planet. The magnetic field would weaken dramatically. Earth's magnetic field is generated by the movement of molten iron in the core. That movement is driven partly by the planet's rotation. Stop the rotation and the magnetic field begins to fade. Without it, the solar wind hits the atmosphere directly, stripping it away, slowly at first, then faster. Over millions of years, the atmosphere thins, the sky turns from blue to black, water evaporates into space. The planet begins to look familiar, red and cold and empty, like Mars. Mars, by the way, lost its magnetic field about 4 billion years ago. Its rotation slowed. Its core cooled. Its atmosphere vanished. Its oceans dried up. It became what it is today. A stopped Earth would follow the same path. Not overnight, but inevitably. Over geological timescales, the moon is doing this to us right now. Its gravity pulls on the Earth like a brake. Every year, our day gets about 1.4 milliseconds longer. That sounds like nothing. But 4 billion years ago, a day on Earth was only 6 hours long. In another few billion years, the Earth and Moon will be tidally locked. The same face of Earth always pointing at the Moon. The same face of the Moon always pointing at Earth. Two worlds staring at each other across the void, frozen in a gravitational embrace. The good news is you will not be around to see it. Neither will anyone you know, or anyone they know, or anyone for the next several billion years. The Earth is still spinning, at 670 kilometers per hour, silent and invisible and relentless, taking you with it, whether you feel it or not.